that make up the Mobiderm system. And as I said before, some people have been using Mobiderm, perhaps with one or two of the bandages, but not all four. And our first bandage that we have, it can also be comfortably made in a tube, but it's 100% Egyptian cotton. And when we apply it, we just, so this is the one that in your packs, it looks like this. Where is one? There is none here.
Okay, focus on the thing is really
one. It's the bigger one in your pack. And you'll see I'm going to demonstrate a leg pretty soon, but you'll see that as I put it on, I'm just rolling it on, and this protects the skin. And because we spiral it on with a 50-50 overlay, you get 4 layers of protection on the skin. The important thing is this is not a compression. Right? It's just really nice and soft to protect the skin. So that's the first bandage that you use in the system. And throughout all the slides I've also got protocols of how to use it for leg and arm and things like that. So we'll just follow on from that. So I have my cotton first, then I have my Mobiderm in my roll, and the best tip for this is when it comes in your box or your packs like this, you'll see it's quite open and it's pretty big to handle, so you just really squish it up as much as you can and it gets super squishy. With this, I just simply roll on. Now, we talk about in bandaging, we talk about either 50-50 overlay, which is a half overlay, or we talk about the bandage is kissing, which is just touching. Because this is a French product, I talk about it as a French kiss. So, a little bit more than a kiss. It's about 1 finger. So one roll of foam there. And that's important because we're only using 4 layers of bandaging. And you can see this duvet I'm putting on now. Right? It's quite quick, you know, I can put it on myself. But also, it looks a little bit bulky, but we're going to have other bandages on top. With this again, I'm not pulling any pressure in. I'm just rolling it on the skin. Then, over the top of that, you'll see in your notes, over the top of that we have our short bandage, and this is a flexi deal. It's a short stretch, but I like to classify it as a light short stretch because traditional short stretch bandages are much heavier. This, you know, if I pull it out, I can, you know, almost see through it. So it's quite an open lead. And this goes on 50-50 overlay with a slight little different technique that I'll teach you today. And it's those 3 first levels that I use on anyone who's palliative care, who's got skin conditions, who perhaps is just going through a healing process, but they've got some edema sitting in their limb. Just those 3 layers. Because this is a light short stretch, you still get some interplay, good interplay with the Mobiderm, but you don't, and you get some reduction of filtration because it's got a higher pressure when it's resting, but it's not like a traditional short stretch bandage. You saw in that video where the woman was going like this and pulling it around like that, and that's really firm, and that's because with that form of bandaging you're looking at more pressure distal to proximal. With these products you can do that if you want. I'll show you how you can adapt if you feel you really need to, but you don't usually need to. Over the top of that, so I call that my nighttime bandage for my patients, so they know if they're doing a 24-hour reduction of bandaging, this is what stays on at night time. Then over the top I have my Biflex, which is this bandage here. And this is what I call the daytime bandage. We're going to play with this all in a moment. This more and long. This is a medium stretch, medium stretch bandage. And this is our daytime bandage. So that only goes on the top when they're moving around. And it's this bandage, you'll feel in a minute when we put it on, that you really get this bounciness and interaction against the tissue. And you imagine you've got yourself moving and you've got this moving on top, and all of a sudden you've got this fantastic shear effect. And you've got all those little initial lymphatic vessels starting to pull open and start to draw in the lymphatic fluid that's sitting in the interstitium. You can stop that now.
Oh, okay.